In this bonus lesson, we'll be touching on some more advanced Procreate features and tips. You'll learn how to turn on drawing grids and guides, how to use the symmetry tool, and how to use the in-app reference window for any photo references. Then we'll cover how to add text, how to import color palettes from photos, and finally, we'll discuss where you can take it from here, ways to level up your experience and your outcomes as you continue to learn to use the Procreate app for your digital art. So here I have opened up a new canvas. If you're following along, you're welcome to do so as well. This canvas size is the same as the one we created for the project, so it is 3000 by 3000 pixels, set to 300 dpi. To access drawing grids, tap the wrench, then tap Canvas, and then toggle on Drawing Guide. From here, tap Edit Drawing Guide, and the default grid that pops up is just a 2D grid. Down here on the bottom bar, there are options for editing. You can adjust the opacity of the grid, the line thickness, the size of the grid itself, and then you can also toggle in between different types of grids. If you toggle on assisted drawing, this will align your brush strokes to the grid. So with just the 2D grid, if I tap Done here to confirm, and then I tap my Layers panel, this layer has assisted drawing turned on. If I add a new layer, it does not automatically have that Drawing Assist turned on. What Drawing Assist does is it only allows you to make brush strokes that are going in the direction of the grid. You can override this by using the Quick Shape function to create lines at other angles. But in general, if you're just drawing, these can only be according to the grid. You can turn Drawing Assist off and on for layers by tapping to bring up the side menu, and then toggling on or off Drawing Assist. If we tap back into Edit Drawing Guide, there is the Isometric Guide, Perspective, where you can tap to create multiple vanishing points. And then Symmetry mirrors everything from one side to the other. It defaults to vertical symmetry, which places the line directly in the center of your canvas. You can tap the blue node here to move the placement, and you can tap the green node to adjust. And while you're in this Edit Drawing Guide area, you can use the 2-finger tap and 3-finger tap gestures to undo and redo. So we're going to set it back to the default. Now, if we tap Options here on the bottom, you can change it from a vertical to a horizontal or a quadrant, which will mirror everything in each quadrant. And then there's Radial, which gives you 8 symmetry lines. Here is where you'll find the toggle for assisted drawing, and then there's also an option for rotational symmetry, which means that instead of just being mirrored along the lines, anything you draw will be mirrored and then rotated. We're going to start with radial and have rotational symmetry toggled off. Then I'll tap Done to confirm. And now when I draw, everything is mirrored along these lines. If you toggle off Drawing Assist, you'll no longer have the symmetry turned on, but the grid remains. To remove the grid, tap the wrench and then toggle off Drawing Guide. And then we're back to normal. I'm going to use 3 fingers to scrub to clear the layer. To add a reference photo, tap the wrench once more. Still under Canvas, tap Reference. And this brings up a floating window that you can move and resize. And it automatically pulls in whatever's on your canvas. You can also bring in an image from your camera roll to use as a reference. To add text, tap the wrench again. This time, under Add, select Add Text. This brings up a keyboard for you to type. And then to edit the text features, you can highlight it just as you would highlight any other text on your device. And there's some quick actions that you can do here, or you can change the type and access more characteristics by tapping this here. You can import fonts by tapping Import Font here. Just as when we imported the color palettes, you can also use side-by-side mode and drag and drop a text or a font file into the app to import that as well. Tap Done to confirm any changes. And when I tap my Layers panel, this shows up as a different type of layer. So this A indicates that this is a text layer, which means that it is not rasterized. So that means that we can increase the scale using transform. Unlike everything else that you draw within Procreate, if it's a text layer, you can infinitely scale it like you would a vector without it becoming pixelated or losing any edge integrity or quality. However, if you were to use an adjustment filter or select part of a layer, of a text layer, and move it, it will automatically rasterize. Adjustment filters are a great way to add filters, effects, and adjustments on top of your artwork. There's a few different sections of them. So the first few are color manipulation. The next ones are blur filters. Then we have some texture effects. And these last two are true image manipulation filters. So they're more of like warping and morphing your image. Liquify turns the layer into like a liquid mesh that you can push and twirl and twist. Filters can be used either on an entire layer, or if you tap this triangle and select pencil and you're using an Apple Pencil, you can use it just with your brush. Just like with automatic selection and color drop, if you slide your finger back and forth, you can increase and decrease the percentage of filter. Moving on to turning photos into color palettes. To do this, open the color palette window and then tap the plus sign here. And you can import from your files, from your photo stream on your device, or you can take a picture with the camera. So I'm going to tap new from file and import this image. And it automatically distills the photo down into 30 colors in a new palette. From here, you can move colors around or delete them by tapping and dragging or pressing and holding until options come up. One of the best ways to really level up your art and achieve realistic effects with less effort is to use custom brushes. I specifically recommend this for styles like watercolor or oil paint or gouache, things that replicate real media. There's a lot of great free brushes out there, as well as brushes that you can purchase that essentially save you time. My other biggest recommendation is to use different paper texture overlays. In your download section, I've included some bonus brushes with an assortment of these custom brushes that you can play around with and try out. There is a paper texture brush included called Press Paper, and I'll show you how to create a paper texture overlay here. So I have this selected. Opening up colors, you'll want to choose a mid-gray color. So I'm going to set my saturation slider to 0 and my darkness, brightness slider to 50. And then on my uppermost layer, my brush size is set to 100. I'm going to use one continuous brush stroke to fill the entire layer. Then open back up your layers panel and tap the N, and this brings up blend modes. Feel free to play around with this to choose the effect you like the most. I switch between multiply and linear burn. By setting it to one of these blend modes, the texture passes through to any pixels on layers underneath it. So if I go down to my layer 1, we can paint, but I'll first zoom in so you can see it on the text here. There's just this subtle paper texture. If you want a more intense paper texture, you can use a darker color than this mid-gray that we used. And then selecting the dark seep brush. This is a brush that's pressure sensitive for opacity as well as size. And it's got this transparency so it layers kind of like real watercolor. And so with custom brushes, you're able to achieve effects faster that might take you a lot more time and detail to replicate with default brushes. So this is a watercolor brush. So if I zoom in here, you can see it's got this watercolor edge texture as well as the darker outer edge. I've also included another watercolor brush, the mid-texture watercolor. This one's got a little less edge texture, a little more clearly defined edge. And then this also blends as you paint. Lastly, there's the diluted paint smear brush, which is more of a gouache look. And so you can see these have different attributes, certainly than the brushes that we used, but also from the brushes that are in the Procreate library. Now in this lesson, you've learned about some of Procreate's more advanced features, as well as ways to level up your work and explore different styles within the app. I hope that this has given you some insight as to next steps in your Procreate journey.